What's up, guys? I'm Brad. Welcome to my build series about a VR6 powered E36. I've had a few people on my Instagram ask me for, sort of updates, build videos, photos, all that stuff. So I thought I might as well get on and record something to sort of explain what the plan is and go through everything and show you what I'm actually doing. So yeah, like I say, the plan is hopefully put a VR6 turbo into an E36 compact. As far as I'm aware, it's been done a few times in various E36s. I've actually spoke to a couple of people with turbo VR6s in compacts and, well, in 36s in general. But as far as I know, it's not actually been done in this country before. I could be wrong about that, but I've not actually seen anyone in this country do it. So, it's going to be a learning curve for me. Definitely going to be a bit out of my comfort zone. I'm very familiar with BMWs, but I'm not very familiar with the VR6. So, a new platform, a new challenge. I'm looking quite forward to it. It's all really come about because my best mate Josh, Kev, cheers Kev, has been building and he loves VR6s. He's mad for them. So it's all come about because he's been building a VR6 drag Corrado for 5 years now, and I've dabbled with him a few times and helped him out with various bits, but never got seriously stuck into it. And he's always said to me, we should put one in a Beamer. We should put one. I know you like skidding. I know you like drifting. Let's put one into a Beamer. And I was sort of in between projects. I like to have a project just to keep busy. Do you know? And like I say, I'm used to BMWs. I like skidding them. And he said to me one day, he goes, Brad, I've got a spare VR6. I'll donate to the cause as long as you send it. As long as you give it the beans and give it the full power. You know what I mean? So that's the plan. He's talked me into it, and we've done a few weeks of research before we actually settled on sort of a basic plan, so to speak. Like I say, it's been done before. It's not been done in the UK, I don't think. But if it has, and you know anyone, just let me know down below. Yeah, let's go through it. I'll show you what I've got here in the garage in terms of parts, and then we'll go around the car outside, and yeah, I'll talk through it all. So, the first thing, obviously, VR6 engine. It's in pieces at the moment because it needs a rebuild. It's been sat up for a little while. It's a AAA 12 valve. Like I say, I'm not too clued up on VR6s, so I think it's an early one. I could be wrong, but yeah, got the block, got all the gubbins in there. We have a head for it. We've got crankshaft, which is down there. Head gaskets, that's the one. The plan for that is pretty much a stock. Well, I say stock. It was going to be a stock block with a head spacer, which is now up there. But we found some old pistons from one of Kev's previous builds. So the block is now going to be bored out to 82mm. So it'll be a 2.9 instead of a 2.8, which, for what I want, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. To be honest, I want more of a safer build than I do a full max power, destroy everything build. The plan eventually for this car would be, I want to compete in it. So I would like to do a few rounds of competition, but I'd like to do it safely at, I think we're aiming for mid 400 horsepower. So, It's still going to be rowdy. It's going to be very rowdy. I'm going to have to be on top of my game with, you know, maintenance and servicing intervals, and I'm probably going to need shares in BMW for drive shafts. But anyway, VR6 mated to a 530D 6-speed manual gearbox, diesel gearbox. So this is actually from an F10 BMW 2000 and I think it was 2008 I got this car from. So it's a bit of a mismatch of parts, but I'm only running this gearbox because I need a specific adapter plate, and the only adapter plate that I could find basically on the internet was this one. So this, shout out to Power Ride from Poland, is a VR6 to a, GS6 53DZ gearbox. This is the only adapter I could find. Well, there was one other, but this one seemed to be the best price, the best availability. So, you know, and to be honest, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I mean, my background is machining, so it is something that I probably could have made, but I couldn't do it on the machines I've got at the moment. So, you know, I bought this, had to do a little mod job on the back of it just for clearance, using my mill, because I've got a mill and a small lathe here. But, you know, yeah, this bolts straight up to the block, straight up to the gearbox. We've already had it bolted together already. I'll put a photo up now. And yeah, I mean, it fits lovely. I'm all dirty though. It's horrible. Needs a clean. The same company, Power Ride, do a clutch and a flywheel for this. So once everything's ready to go, I will be purchasing a clutch and a flywheel from that. What else have we got in here? So a VR6 obviously isn't meant to be going into a BMW, as everyone knows, as everyone's probably saying on this at the moment. Everything's totally custom, everything. So you can't buy aftermarket mounts, you can't buy, you know, gearbox mounts, engine mounts, you can't buy prop shafts that fit. You can't buy anything because a VR6 is for a front wheel drive car, you know, whereas we're putting it in a rear wheel drive car. So hence the long 6-speed gearbox. But you know, the adapter's the only thing we could buy off the shelf. We've got the availability, we've got the machines and the knowledge to, you know, make everything else. So it's not too bad. Which brings us on to gearbox. So we have had the car, we have had the engine in the car already, but there was no subframe in there. The only thing we managed to bolt up was the gearbox mount. So, and for the gearbox is the original gearbox mount looks like this. You know, typical square mount, fits into that. Something like that. But that doesn't go anywhere near the car. Doesn't fit, doesn't. And I didn't really like it. It's a standard rubber mount. It's quite chunky. I don't think it was going to fit right in the car. So we fitted. I managed to work out that E92 mount fits, and these are obviously just typical standard polybushed E36 mounts. So E92 mount bolted to an F10 gearbox with E36 mounts equals this standard E36 mount with some elongated holes, because it wouldn't fit basically. Again, nothing is stock, nothing is available for this car, for this engine, whatever. I've already said that. So I just, for mock-up purposes, you know, elongated the holes a little bit, very poorly. But but it worked. You know, it bolted into the car. And then that brings us on to this lovely piece of work that I bought off eBay from Born to Drift. So if you've seen them, if you're into your E36s, this is an E36 mount that these parts should be here, basically, both sides. But we bolted this into the car on these holes, and it fits lovely. But the engine sits about 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches. Well, to be technically, it fits about 7 inches too far forward. So we've moved the gearbox back about 100 mil, give or take 5 mil, something like that. So now the engine and gearbox fits, you know, 4 inches back. It allows us to sit in the tunnel a lot nicer. There's a lot more room in the bay. There is a lot more room for subframe, because the subframe's going to have to be custom as well, but we'll get to that. And yeah, if I show you a photo of it or a quick video in the bay, you'll see how far forward it fits. That's with the gearbox mounted up. So if you look at that now, you'll see that it's a pain in the arse, basically. It's really far forward, and the issue that we're running into straight away is that the oil pump on the VR6 engine, because this is actually upside down at the moment on the stand, this is the oil pump, fits right where the subframe is. So subframe sits probably there, actually, as it is at the moment. That was before we moved it 100 mil back using that. So now the subframe, the back of the subframe sits about here, which is, you know, it's still a pain in the arse. It's still going to give us a bit of an issue, but instead of having to chop the subframe completely in half and cut it straight out, we've now only got a, hopefully we can sort of scallop it, or, you know, cut a little bit out, because we need to fit it like that. And then there's a whole nother gubbins here where it does the pickup and everything like that. It is going to be a pain. It is going to be a massive pain, and there's a lot of fab work in it, but should be a real tasty motor once it's done. So I'll explain what we got to do to the subframe quick. So obviously E36 for subframe. We basically got to cut it here and here, cut it square to the lip there, and then plate it, because we need clearance for the oil pump and the sump. And because we don't have enough clearance, we're going to have to hopefully do a custom sump with a rear mounted pan, which should be fine, because we should have enough clearance between the back of the subframe and the start of the gearbox. That shouldn't be a problem. But like I say, our biggest issue was the stock pump, because we can run a modified pump and an external pickup and all that jargon, but to save ourselves, you know, weeks of fabrication and farting around and parts and stuff, we figured we'll try and make do with what we've got, basically, to start off with, because, you know, for both of us, because Kev is helping me throughout this project, for both of us it's new territory. You know, he knows VR6s, I know E36s, but together we should be able to come up with something which is pretty tasty. Okay, so it's the next day. Just finished work, and whilst I've got some nice sun going on, I thought I'd do a quick walk round of the car and show you the bit of a shed that I'm actually working with. So there she be. There she is. As you can see, I don't have the luxury of a unit, but we make do. It was one or the other. It was build a car or have a unit, so I chose to build a car. E36 compact. Started life as a 1.6. It's a little rotten in the usual places, bottom of the wings, jacking points, stuff like that, but it's pretty straight. Stripped out the interior already, so excuse the wiring mess, but all the interior's gone. I'm going to try and keep the heater matrix because driving it in the cold and letting the windows fog up is not my idea of fun. So got rid of all the wiring loom driver's side, so there's nothing to catch my feet on. Passenger side has been thinned considerably. It's a bit of a mess in here, but all of this is stuff from the dashboard. Only wires going to the back are brake lights and number plate lights. So I'm going to tidy all of this up once it's all done. But yeah, put a cage in here, make it as safe as possible, put some buckets, nice steering wheel which I've already got, hydro, quick short shifter should be mint, and then, you know, arches need doing, but I'm probably going to put over fenders on it. So I have had the back end of this car out already. Bumper's been taken off and everything's been prepped underneath. The subframe has been reinforced, painted, polybushed, put back in, including the lower arms. Diffs welded, obviously. There is a, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, there is a jacking point here. And I do have a twin caliper set up on the back. So, you know, original rear calipers from the compact, and then a set of front calipers from this compact grafted on to the lower arms as well. So we'll be running twin calipers, so it gives us a bit more adjustability when, well, in terms of hydro and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the car. Nothing excited, nothing to shout home about, you know, just the bog standard E36 compact that needs a lot of love, but it's a good base to do what I want with it. So yeah, cheers.